Welcome. Today's session is called Movements to Fix Your Neck, and your back is going to join in on the fun. A couple of important points I'd like to start with, and the first one, which is pretty obvious to most of us that have neck issues, is that your neck is pretty sensitive, and if we treat it rudely or treat it with too much intensity, it's going to let us know that it's not happy. So everything that we're going to do today is going to be slow, smooth, and gentle. The general movement pattern that we're going to use today is that we're going to engage and then release. We're going to engage the muscles gently, and then we're going to release fully. It's important that we don't carry tension in the neck. That's why we have neck issues. Not carrying the tension in the neck, it's important that we focus on being able to relax and release after we engage. The release portion of the movement is at least as important as the engagement portion of the movement. The intensity level today should be really low. I want you to move really slowly, really gently. The accumulated movement patterns that we will do today will easily make up for any lack of intensity that you may be feeling. So keep things gentle, keep them slow, keep them smooth. Also like to remind that we do want to be able to feel the movement that we're doing. This is really important, especially in the neck, since each of us tends to hold tension in the neck, and each of us, due to what we do during the day and how we hold that tension, each of us is going to experience these neck movements different from your next door neighbor, for example. So it's important that you pay attention to what you're feeling as we do these movements, and to start to figure out what specific areas in your neck are tight or tweak or impinge or just feel a little out of whack. So the back is also going to be involved today, and since it is the support and the foundation of the neck, we will be doing some movements that will be involved with the back. So we will do some back, but our focus today is on the neck. So let's get started, shall we? We're going to begin by bringing our attention to our breath. And we'll take several breaths here just to find the rhythm of our inhale and our exhale. We're going to move based on the movement of our breath. So typically on an inhale we'll make one movement, and on an exhale we'll make the opposite movement. So everything will be very slow and very rhythmic. So let's settle in on a chair and start by just finding your breath. We want to determine how long an inhale takes and how long an exhale takes. And the length that an inhale takes is the amount of time that one movement will take. And then likewise, the exhale will reverse that movement. Let's take a couple more breaths. And we're going to start with our arms and a nice lift. So sitting with your thighs parallel and your shins vertical, sitting on the edge of your chair. On your next inhale, lift your arms up. On the exhale, bring your arms down. So inhale up, exhale down. You're gaze, your head is going to follow your hands. So as your hands lift, your gaze follows. Exhale down. Inhale up. Exhale down. As you do this movement, notice what's going on in the back. We're just loosening things up, the back side of the neck and the back. Notice the feeling that you have in your back when the hands are lifted. That's what's known as a long back. We're going to come back to that same long back position for quite a number of the movements that we'll be doing today. But I'm going to pause with the hands lifted. This back position is a long back. The pelvis is rolled forward slightly. There's a little bit of lift here at the sternum. So it's a nice long back. Let's continue. Inhale up and add a little twist. Exhale down. Inhale up and twist. Exhale down. Inhale up and twist. Exhale down. Notice any feelings that you have in your body as you do this movement. Do you have any areas that feel stuck? Do you get a little twinge here and there? Let's do one more each side. And release. And release fully. Take a look at your body and find any areas of tension and let them relax. You may feel some tension in the upper back, maybe the lower back, maybe your shoulders. Notice any tension. Bring your awareness to that tension and just tell it to relax. Let's come back to the breath. Take a couple of inhales. We're going to do a little work right now on the glutes and the lower back. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to start from this same position. Thighs parallel to each other, shins vertical, feet flat on the floor. We're going to take one knee, in this case my left knee, and we're going to push it forward while the other knee pulls back. And release. On the next inhale, reverse that. This leg forward, this leg back. Exhale and release. So each inhale will engage. On the exhale, we'll release back into the center and let everything release. So this is the start of our inhale, engage, exhale, release phase. So inhale, engage, exhale, release. Inhale, engage, exhale, release. So let those knees push in opposite directions. Inhale, engage, exhale, release. Keep your back nice and long, that same position as if we had the arms lifted. Notice that as one knee pushes forward and one knee back, the knee that pulls back also lifts the sits bone on that side. So if my right knee is moving back, my right sits bone is lifted slightly off the chair. Bring your attention back to your breath and the movement. Inhale, engage. Exhale, release everything. There's not a whole lot of time to release. Maybe 2 or 3 seconds as you do your exhale. But in that 2 or 3 seconds, take that opportunity to take a snapshot and see where are you holding your tension, and see if you can let it relax. You may also start to feel some muscle heat back here in the glutes, especially close to your sacrum, where the attachment points for many of the muscles back there are. Just notice that feeling, and we'll continue moving a few more sequences here. And release. And notice where you're holding tension right now, and let everything release. We're going to come back to that same movement. We're going to add a little bit of movement to the torso as we move the knees forward and backwards. So this is what it's going to look like. As one knee moves forward and one knee moves back, I'm going to lift the torso a little bit into a slightly longer back, as if you were lifting your hands. So as your knees engage, lift a little bit here at the sternum, tilt the pelvis a little forward. And when you exhale and relax, let your torso slouch forward a little bit. So inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. When you release, notice your neck. Let the neck release. Let's do one more each side. And release. Very nice. We're going to do a little slouching now. And what I'd like you to do is that same forward motion that we were just doing on the release, we're going to do it here. What we're going to add, though, is a little bit of side-to-side movement with the neck. So we're going to slouch the torso forward a little bit. Side view here, not a whole lot, a little bit of slouch. Let the head dangle until you start to feel some tension in the back of the neck. And when you feel that tension in the back of your neck, that's where we'll stop. And then we're going to take that head and we're going to move it slowly to the right, slowly to the left. Our breath work for this is inhale to the side, exhale, release to the middle. Inhale, engage to the side. Exhale, and release to the center. There's your inhale and engage. Exhale and release. Inhale and engage. exhale, release. This is a really simple little movement. I want you to focus on what do you feel in your neck? What does that feel like as you slouch a little? Let the head hang on the back of the neck, and just a gentle movement. Inhale to the side, exhale to the center. And release. I was an IT guy for most of my professional career, and being an IT guy, constantly on the computer, keyboard, mouse. And what I developed was some real tension here in the right side of my neck and shoulder from mouse and keyboard. I'm also right-handed. Since I've retired, I've kind of worked that tension out, but since I hold my phone in my left hand, I've now developed some tension here on the left side. So as I do that movement, I can feel, as I move my head to the right, I can feel additional tension here on the left side of my neck. As I move it to the right, not so much. In fact, as I move to the left, I feel a little bit of compression on the left side of the neck. So you may feel different things depending on what your life is like. We're going to come back to that long back, and I'd like you to sit nice and straight. So the pelvis is going to roll a little bit forward, sternum is a little lifted. Similar back position to what we had when the hands were lifted. So if that is helpful to lift the hands and then bring them down, by all means do that. So a nice long back. And what we're going to do is start by moving the head in one direction. So I'm going to move my head. I'm going to keep the neck nice and straight. So I'm just moving around that axis. Head to the right. Come back to the center. I'm going to exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale. Inhale. Now, if you want to reverse the breath work, that's fine. In this case, it doesn't really matter. If you want to inhale here, exhale to center, inhale, exhale, that's perfectly fine. But as long as you keep that nice breath rhythm going here. Engage to the side, release to the middle. Engage, release. Now, in terms of how far you go with your neck, how far your head rotates, be gentle. And let's add a little something to this. As you rotate to the side, tuck your chin down towards the floor. And come back to center. Inhale to the side, tuck your chin down. Exhale to center and release. Inhale, tuck your chin. Exhale, release. When you exhale and come back to center, focus on releasing everything. Let's do one more each side. Feel that movement. Feel what's going on in your neck. Any tension that you feel, any compression issues, any little muscular tweaks, anything at all that you feel as you do that movement, just make note of it. We're going to continue with a focus on the back side of the neck and some of the upper back muscles. And we're going to use a wall to do these next set of movements. So find yourself a wall that you've got a decent amount of horizontal space. What we're going to do to start is to stand next to the wall with your heels touching the wall, and then anything else that touches as you stand in a natural standing position. So your calves may touch, your cheeks may touch, somewhere along the back of the shoulder blades probably touch, and probably your head is going to be a little bit of distance away from that wall. What we're going to do is we're going to find the middle of the neck right here, and we're going to push the middle of the neck back towards the wall. So standing with your heels touching the wall, and anything else that touches, and when you stand in a natural position. So inhale and push the middle of your neck back towards the wall, and then release. When you release, you can slouch forward, let your neck hang. So inhale, push the middle of your neck back towards the wall. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So make this nice and smooth. When you exhale and release, release everything. You may feel some engagement between the shoulder blades. You're definitely going to feel some engagement in the back of the neck. And it's important here that we engage and release nice and smoothly. Let's do one more. All right. So we're going to add on to that. We're going to continue with the neck pressing back towards the wall. What we're going to add, though, is a twist of the head around the axis of the neck. So starting in the same position, heels touching the wall, anything else that touches the wall is fine. We're going to push the middle of the neck back towards the wall and turn our head to one side. There's your inhale. Exhale, release, and slouch forward. Let the back lengthen, let the back of the neck lengthen. Inhale, neck presses back and turn to the left. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So the neck presses back as the head rotates to one side, and then slouch forward. Let the upper back and the neck release on the exhale. Let's do one more each side. And release. We're going to add one more movement to this little sequence. And what we're going to do is, as we press the neck back towards the wall and rotate the head, we're then going to tuck the chin down towards the floor. So the inhale is going to look like this. Neck presses back, head rotates, chin presses down. Exhale and release. Inhale, neck back, head rotates, chin tucks. Exhale and release. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do one more each side. Neck back, head rotates, chin tucks. Exhale and release. And release. Nice. So we're going to do one more with the wall, and that is we're going to start in a bird pose. But we're also going to start with our heels about 6 inches away from the wall. And we're going to bring the back of our shoulders to the wall and the arms straight out to the side. So the only part that should be touching the wall will be parts of your arm, your hand, and right along, in my case at least, the back of the shoulder blades. So your body is in kind of a plank position, so your butt, your calves, they're not touching the wall. And then what we're going to do is we're going to focus specifically on the upper muscles in the shoulder and the neck. And what we're going to do from here is push back with the hands so that the torso moves away from the wall, and then we release. We inhale and push back with the hands so that the torso and the shoulders come away from the wall, a couple of inches. Exhale, release. Inhale and push. Exhale, release. Inhale, push. Exhale, release. And then bring your arms down temporarily. You'll notice that there's some good engagement, some muscle heat from the back of the shoulders, but also they feel a bit tense. So what we're going to do is change this movement a little bit so that the release, instead of just coming back, we're actually going to give ourselves a hug, which is going to lengthen all of the muscles that we just contracted. So if you look at the muscles on the back of the shoulders, here they're contracted, and here they're lengthened. So it's a much better range of motion, and you're going to find it works a whole lot better for the engagement this way and release this way. When you cross your arms, I'd like you to pay attention to which one's on top. I want you to flip them over each time. So one time with the right arm above, next time with the left arm above. So let's get ready to start on the next inhale. Inhale, push away from the wall. Exhale, bring your arms together, give yourself a hug. Let your head fall forward too so the neck lengthens. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more. And release. So that's what we're going to do on the wall. We're going to move into a prone position next and do a couple of movements from prone mountain. We're going to do a few movements from prone mountain, and many of them are going to involve the neck, but they're also going to involve the back. So we're going to start with just a straight up prone mountain with a very small lift. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to start in prone position, so we'll be face down on the mat. And we're going to have our arms behind us. And when we inhale, we're going to do several things at the same time. We're going to lift the arms and shoulders off of the mat. Our nose and chin are going to float just barely off the mat. And we're going to push our pubic bone down into the mat. We're not going to lift the legs. We're just going to press the pubic bone down into the mat. What you're going to find is a big engagement on the back side of the body, all the way from the glutes up to the base of the skull and the neck. So let's start right now. So starting in prone position, on the next inhale, your nose and chin float, arms float, press down at your pubic bone. On the exhale, let everything relax and release. Inhale, pubic bone down, arms float, nose and chin floats. Exhale down. Inhale, engage. Exhale down. Now, as you inhale and engage, try to focus on your neck. Keep your neck nice and long. The tendency sometimes in this pose is to scrunch the neck in towards the torso. Picture your head extending away from your shoulders. Inhale, engage. Exhale, release. So inhale, nose and chin float, arms float off the mat, pubic bone down. On the exhale, let everything release. Keep that neck nice and long. Let's do one more. And release. So we're going to do another movement that involves the back of the shoulders and the neck. And we're going to start in bird pose. So we'll have our arms straight out to the side. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift the arms, and then we're going to rotate them about 20 degrees, and then do another lift, come down, change them 20 degrees, lift, down. So we're going to go step by step by step as we lift. Once the arms are down here by our hips, we're going to reverse that, come up, lift, come up, lift, come up, lift, and we're going to continue past 90 degrees, and we're going to move as far forward with our arms as we can before we grind to a halt. And for me, I've got some bad shoulders. Somewhere around here is where I really can't lift them any further. So we lift on the inhale, we push down with the pubic bone at the same time. So on the inhale, pubic bone goes down, collarbones go down, arms lift. So let's take a look. So from prone mountain, arms straight to the side and release. On the next inhale, pubic bone down, collarbones down, both hands lift up. Exhale, come down. Shift your hands about 20 degrees down. Inhale, pubic bone down, hands up. Exhale, down and release. Go down 20 more degrees. Inhale, pubic bone down, hands up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale, down. Inhale up. Exhale, down. We're going to reverse the movement and start bringing the hands up. Once you've hit 90 degrees, continue past 90. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. And when you can't bring the arms any farther forward, release entirely. We're going to do a little more work from prone with the lower back, and then we're going to involve the entire back. And we're going to do that with a fairly subtle spinal twist. So what we're going to do is start in a prone mountain position, and we're going to extend one leg. Right leg extends back. So push that foot and leg back away from the torso. And that's what we're going to start with. You'll notice that as that leg extends, the pelvis is going to drop on that side. The right upper thigh, hip is going to drop down towards the mat as that leg extends. So the inhale, you'll extend that leg back. Exhale, you'll release and you'll neutralize everything. Next inhale, you'll extend the other leg back. Notice that top of the thigh, hip dropping down towards the mat. Exhale and release. So each inhale will extend one leg. Exhale, release back to center. We're going to keep the arms floating, and the nose and chin is going to float also. So we're going to have some tension on the back of the neck. So with the nose and chin floating and the arms and shoulders off the mat, inhale, extend your right leg back. Notice the right hip drop.
Exhale, release. Inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, release. Inhale, extend the right leg. Exhale, release. So each inhale you'll extend. On the exhale, you'll release. As you do this movement, notice the top of the thigh, the hip area of the extended leg drops down towards the mat. Also notice your neck. Sometimes the tendency here is for the neck to shorten and to get rigid. Make sure you keep the neck loose and long. Now we're going to modify this a little bit. As you extend one leg, lift the knee a little bit up off the mat. So there's a little bit of a leg lift. Notice that same side hip dropping down towards the mat. Keep your focus on your neck. Keep it long and loose. If you need to wiggle a little bit, that's certainly fine. Notice the pelvis rocking back and forth as you extend and then lift each leg. And let's do one more each side. And release. So we're going to do one more from prone position. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue with the same movement from the waist down. From the waist up, we're going to rock the shoulders side to side in a movement that looks like this. So as we inhale, we'll put one shoulder down and lift the opposite shoulder. Exhale to center. Exhale. Now, the challenge here is that if we're lifting the right leg, we're extending and lifting the right leg, we're going to lift the left shoulder. So that what we're working on here is a counter twist. As we lift the right leg, the right side of the pelvis is going to drop down towards the mat. At the same time, the left shoulder is going to lift. So we have a counter twist. The pelvis is rotating in one direction. The shoulders are rotating in the opposite direction. So let's go to it. So extend the right leg and lift the left shoulder. Exhale down. Extend the left leg and the right shoulder. Exhale down. Inhale, extend the leg. Lift the knee and lift the opposite shoulder. So right leg lifts, left. Exhale, release. Inhale, release. Inhale, release. Now, your gaze should stay focused straight down towards the mat. So keep your neck nice and long. Keep your gaze straight down. Let's do one more each side. And release. We're going to take a look at one final set of movements for the neck, and these are very, very specific for the neck. And what we're going to do is we're going to notice the alignment of the neck from the torso. So typically we're going to have the neck straight up and down. And we can move the neck to the side, back to center, to the other side, back to center. But the neck has a big range of motion, and we can move the neck in any number of different ways and different angles. So if we look at the neck and we look straight to the side, and then we can look at the neck and move it straight toward the front. Between those two angles, there's a huge range, a 90-degree range of different angles that we could possibly move the neck in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the neck, imagine this is our neck, we're going to move it off to one side, straight to the side, and then we're going to rotate the head around the neck. So let's shift this here. Here's my neck, here's my head. We rotate off straight to the side, and then with the head we're going to rotate around the axis of the neck. And we'll come back to center, and then we'll find a different angle, and that, to start with, will come straight forward and then rotate the head around the axis of the neck. So let's take a look at that. So if we sit in a nice long back position and find your breath, we're going to start by moving the head straight to the right side. So the ear is going to move straight towards the right shoulder until you start to feel some tension here, and that's where you'll stop. Once you've got that neck movement to the side, we're then going to rotate the head in a full range of motion. And we're going to do it with the breath. Inhale in one direction, exhale in the other direction. Inhale, exhale. Now, the amount of rotation that you get should be gentle. I want you to feel the movement as this happens, and you may feel some real interesting stuff going on in the neck. So let's come back to that same movement. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Make sure you make this nice and smooth, nice and gentle. Come back to center. And from center, same movement. So we'll keep the neck vertical. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And release. Let everything release fully. Notice any tension that you feel, base of the skull and the neck, upper shoulders, upper back. Let everything release. And then bring your attention back to your breath. We're going to take the neck straight towards the left. So take your left ear towards your left shoulder until you start to feel some tension here. And then with the head in that same position, the neck in the same position, rotate. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release on the exhale. So we've done straight to one side, straight to the other side. We're going to do straight forward next. So my neck is going to go straight forward. Here's a side view. Neck straight forward until I start to feel some tension in the back of the neck. And then with the head, inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Notice what you feel in the neck as you do this movement. If you feel any particular impingements, tweaks, pain of any sort, that'll tell you where you may want to focus your movement on, a similar sort of movement in the future. So we've looked at three different angles: straight to one side, straight to another, straight forward, but there's a huge range of angles that we can move at, and we're going to look at two of them right now. So straight to the side, straight forward, we've got a 90-degree span between those two. What we're going to do is take the neck at about a 45-degree angle. So neck will come at about a 45-degree angle, and then holding the neck in that same direction, that same 45-degree angle, we rotate the head around the axis. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. And exhale and release. And just to be on the balanced side of things here, since we've done a 45-degree angle to the right, we're going to do a 45-degree angle to the left. So take your neck, angle it off at 45 degrees towards the left, and then inhale, exhale. While you do this movement, you might want to experiment a little bit with letting the head drop a little bit from the base of the skull, or noticing the amount of movement that you're making in that 45-degree angle. You may find that maybe you started with too much movement in that direction. Pull the neck up a little bit so it's not pushing forward at quite the same angle. And exhale and release. And release fully. Notice what sort of feelings you feel now in your neck. For me, I especially notice here this area that is tight and a little stiff on my left side of the neck. I notice it especially here. And for me, tilting 45 to the right or 45 to the left, I feel it pretty strongly both ways. When I tilt to the right, this part of my left neck is under tension. When I tilt to the right, that same area is under compression, and the effects are different, but the area there is getting moved, and it feels a whole lot better through the rest of the day. So we're going to do one more movement, and it is a very subtle movement, and I want to thank Scott Anderson for teaching me this. It's called an atlas axis movement, and the atlas and axis vertebrae are way up here. They are the top two vertebrae before the skull, and rather subtle movement that we're going to be doing in order to move those. And what we're going to do is this. First, we're going to sit in a fairly upright position, so a long back position. And then with the head vertical, we're going to pretend that a butterfly lands on your nose and then flies off. So a little butterfly lands, there's going to be a very slight downward movement of the nose, and then the butterfly flies off and the nose comes back to its starting position. So the movement here is going to be incredibly small and very gentle and very rhythmic. So here's how it's going to look. I'm going to exhale, butterfly lands on my nose. Inhale, butterfly flies off. Nose down, nose up. Now, as you make this movement, if your inhale takes 3 seconds, you're going to move from one position to the next in 3 seconds. It's going to take you 3 seconds to do that movement. The movement is so small that you're going to have to focus quite strongly on your breath work and that movement. So exhale as the nose comes down slightly. Inhale as the nose lifts. And on the next exhale, release. And just let your head wobble a little bit. This is the kind of movement that is so subtle it probably will take several different sessions of doing it before you start to feel it and kind of understand it. The first movement is straight forward and back. The second movement that we're going to do for the atlas axis is going to be a very slight smile with the chin. So notice your chin. We're going to move the chin to one side, and I'm going to exaggerate the movement a little bit and then move the chin to the other side. So the movement of the chin is going to be in a curve like a smile, but it's going to be very, very subtle. So here's what it looks like in reality. So I'm going to exhale to the side, inhale to center. Or reverse that, inhale to the side, exhale to center. Inhale to the side, exhale to center.
Keep your back nice and long. As you do this movement, notice what you feel in your neck, particularly the top of the spine, where the atlas and axis vertebrae top the spine right below the skull. This is such a subtle movement that I found that doing it for a longer period of time helps me understand the movement and helps me feel the movement much better. And release. And notice what you feel and let everything relax. And we'll take a few more breaths. And I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that some of these movements might give you some additional insight into your own neck and your own movements that you can do, which will help with your neck. Thanks for joining me. Namaste.